think I'm on. Okay. So first of all, welcome everyone, and welcome Agne on behalf of Apeejay School of Management, Dwarka, Delhi. I welcome you, and that you are giving your precious time to enlighten our students. Right? She's joining from Estonia, and probably it's like certain time adjustments as well. I'm fortunate that I have studied along with Agne. We have studied one of the subject, creativity and innovation, together at University College Dublin, Ireland in 2013 or so. So I'm just sharing the profile of Agne with all of you. Like nowadays, things are changing, so I'm just sharing her LinkedIn profile with all of you. Just give me a minute. It's an honor for me to introduce you. So this is the profile. Agne Prince, she's an online course designer, learning and development consultant. I've seen Agne as a truly as a professional, at the same time very creative person. She helped me out when I came from India. I started something of my own, a small startup in education, and then this is about her prior. Currently she is with TP Group, and from May 2020, and she is being into all these things: curriculum design, content creation, content management, online courses, project management, collaboration with stakeholders. Prior, she was with Mind Valley, and then junior research fellow with Dell Tech University. So she has a enormous type of experience, different types of experience, like in research, as so because currently she's working with content development and all. She has graduated Master of Science with first class honors in from University College Dublin only. There we have studied one subject together. So thank you, Agne, once again for joining us. And now stage is yours, podium is yours. Thank you. You can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Anuj, for this introduction. It's really a pleasure to be here today, and really to be invited at this really inspiring talk. So I mean, like, about this topic, entrepreneurship, creativity, innovation, these are, I think, keywords in today's world. So I'm very happy that I can have an opportunity to just share a glimpse of my own experience and understanding. So I'd like to share my screen, and yes, so let me just start with the presentation. And so you can, just a second, Joe. Okay. So I was thinking that I would like to talk today about learning mindset for entrepreneurship. And so this is connected to innovation and creativity. And I'm already very grateful that Anuj gave a very good overview of my background. So I just put some bullet points here, also for a summary to understand why I'm here actually talking about this topic. And I think what Anuj said very well about the different backgrounds. So what I learned throughout my career so far is that
Hello, Agne, are you there?
on a little perfect. Okay. So on a little side note is that my own husband, he is a co-founder and a CEO of a robotic startup called 10 Lines. So living with a entrepreneur has really helped me to understand better this, how is the mindset working for these people, how actually, what is important to succeed in business. So my education what already Anuj was sharing. So we together studied in University College Dublin, Michael's Murphy Business School. And my background is in master's degree in organizational development and change. But I also so the reason a company that is doing trainings, different trainings in online field. And so I worked there with Catherine Woodward Thomas. So her book is about conscious uncoupling. So it's for anyone who is interested in actually healing after a difficult breakup, and especially if they have family involved, children involved, or even if people just had a hard breakup and they want to just get better in themselves. So this is a brilliant book on that part. Then I had an opportunity to work also on relationships topic, but that was more in business. So it was about networking, and it was with Keith Ferrazzi, who has written one of the most, it can be said, one of the most successful and well-known networking book. So it's Never Eat Alone. And so we created courses about these topics in Mindvalley with these two authors, but I worked separately also with Sergey Young, and Sergey Young is a longevity, excuse me, is a longevity investor. And he has written the USA best-selling book, The Science and Technology of Growing Young. So this is a really amazing roadmap for anyone who is interested in understanding how we can live longer, and actually what will wait us in the next 15, 20 and more years. So it's lots of practical tips together with also the future ahead. Now, why I'm saying all of this to you, well, this is a course about entrepreneurship. So the reason is because these people here who I worked with, they are very successful in their own businesses. And also I learned so much by understanding what's their mindset. And my aim is here today to actually share with you the mindset, to inspire you or to give you some thoughts and ideas that will help you to look certain things from different perspective or more adaptive perspective. So what I learned from working with these authors is something that I compiled into 7 principles. And I understood that these people who are very successful in their businesses, in the work they do, they firstly surround themselves with people who inspire and challenge. So you really want to grow as an entrepreneur, as a creative person, you want to grow from people who inspire and challenge you. If you're surrounded with others who are where you feel one of the strongest, then that's not the best environment to grow. And definitely seeing from these authors, I understood that they pick the people who inspired them, and they always ask for feedback from experts in the field. They really create this supportive network bubble around them from where they get the information and feedback to make the product even better or service even better. Now, the second point that I learned from them is that the key is to work towards an audacious vision that benefits others. And the key words here are definitely the audacious vision, but also the benefiting others aspect. So it's serving humanity. And I'm sure that you, as entrepreneurs, you know about the role that entrepreneurs are actually supporting society in so many ways. And this is so crucial to have these great ideas and visions. So I'm sure that you know all about this aspect, but I think it's nevertheless important to bring it out. Now, the third point is that these people who are very successful, they are constantly learning adapting and improving processes while honoring one's values. So what this means is that they are strong in their own core, but also they are open to change and adapt according to how world is changing. Because if we get really fixed into how things used to work, there is a big chance that there is something important that's going to be missed, and the service and products not going to be very successful further. So understanding that and adapting is the key. Now, the fourth point is seeing failure and mistakes as learning blocks. And I'm sure that every entrepreneur will, through their life, get failures and do lots of mistakes. And so all of us in our everyday life, it doesn't matter whether we're entrepreneurs or not, and on personal lives as well. So in personal lives. So it's the one thing is to say this as a theory, another thing is to actually live it. So when mistake happens, how do you react? Do you beat yourself up, or you actually say, okay, awesome, I learned something better, I'm going to do better, and I'm going to serve better. And if there amends need to be made, if you have to apologize, that's another thing. But still, it's not something that's holding you back. So the fifth principle is being generous and kind. And I could see that from them so much that they were very generous with their time, resources, help. They were always also restricted in terms of, boundaried in terms of protecting what's important for them time-wise and being present. But when they there, they were fully there, they were generous, kind, helping. So, and this is a common thread that I see, the people who do the biggest things in the world, they have hearts of gold and they truly care about other people's well-being. Now, the sixth principle is investing in your health, mental, physical, and emotional. And while Sergey Young was the author who was most focusing on the longevity and the health aspect, all of them covered in certain aspects, different parts of health. So it's we as human beings, to be successful, we need to look after ourselves holistically. So not just that we are physically healthy, but also mentally healthy, emotionally. So emotionally healthy means having the support network around us, or healing certain challenges we had in the past, or traumas. So this is a complex understanding, but whatever is on our plate as human beings is something that we need to address and look after in a healthy way. So by investing, I mean investing your time, resources, attention to your own health. And the seventh point is valuing yourself. So I'm sure you heard, if you don't value yourself, it's hard for other people to value you. And what I learned from these authors is that they know what advantage, how they can benefit others. They know the value they bring to others. So it's really the key to understand what's your essence. And if some people are have issues with low self-confidence, it's really key to start understanding how you can bring value. What is your value, so you believe in it? And this way, the more you believe in your value and you actually do good you do good to others, then that's going to be reflected back to you. Now, so this is what I learned from these authors. And I'm super grateful and honored that I had the opportunity to work with them. But there are so many amazing entrepreneurs in the world. And living in this age, we have abundance of resources available, and lots of them are for free. So you could find anyone to be your role model. So actually at this stage, I would invite you, just in your thoughts, think about who are your role models. And after this class, also to dwell a bit longer into this and think, who are the people who you want to follow? Who are the mindsets that you want to follow? Because the more you look at this, the more you're going to adopt and become like them, and also change it to your own needs. So I really wanted to bring here as an example Peter H. Diamandis. So he's one of the world's 50 greatest leaders. And he has these amazing Peter's laws. And I'd like to just share with you some. You can read it yourself. It's easily foundable on the internet, Peter Diamandis' laws. And I'm sure you're going to find something that's most speaking to you. But the ones that I would like to bring out are number 3. So the world's biggest problems are the world's biggest business opportunities. I think this one is at the core of entrepreneurship. Now, the 4th as well, the best way to become a billionaire is to help a billion people. Another, it's a shift in mindset. And I'd like to bring something from the end, is that the world's most precious resource is the persistent and passionate human mind. And the beauty is that actually we can nourish our human mind with so many resources that are already there for free. So regardless where we are in our life, what opportunities we have at that moment, we can always to grow and learn more. So let me just continue. And so what I'd like to show here, so this is what has inspired me. And again, I'd like you to just to focus on what you're looking for. What is that actually really you feel that's connected. Learning mindset to fuel creativity innovation. Now let's get deep into creativity and innovation and why learning. So clearly we're connected here in this space now because you're learning and I'm here to share some of my learnings. And but this is not gonna, learning is not gonna end for you when you're gonna finish the school. Learning is gonna continue for a lifetime. And this is, while many people know it, it's very important to keep this in mind for all the time to be innovative and successful. And so there are 3 learning mindsets. And that there are 3 learning mindsets that the Student Experience Research Network has brought out this model. And I really like this model because I think it's brought out some of the key words. And this model consists of 3 aspects, which are growth mindset, belonging, purpose, and relevance. And you see the names in these circles like Carol Dweck for growth mindset, Brené Brown, Keith Ferrazzi for belonging, Simon Sinek, and Peter Diamandis for purpose and relevance. So I added those names there because these people speak separately about these topics, not so much about this like learning mindset idea, but they talk about separately about these topics. So if you're interested, I just added them there for you to research and go deeper if that's something that you want to find out. But now coming back to the learning mindsets, then for learning to happen, there are lots of elements. So first of all, it's important to understand that the growth mindset is about the belief that intelligence can be developed. So it's not the fixed mindset that you think that things are this way and they will stay this way forever, but it's about the belief that it can be changed, it can be advanced. So this is one of very critical aspects in this. Belonging, why it's important in learning is also because once you feel supported and that you're around others, and clearly at university, having study groups, other people who you relate to, that helps learning as well. But now this is not only for school, for the real life, for the entrepreneurship, same ways there are communities and other people you can connect to. And now purpose and relevance are important aspects because when you know why you're doing something and why it's important to you and others, then actually the learning can stick better. But what I would add to this model of 3 aspects, I would add the 4th, and it would be rethinking. And rethinking, why rethinking is important for learning is because someone like Adam Grant, who is organizational psychologist, very famous and very admired. And I love how he's saying, learning is how you evolve. Unlearning is how you keep up as the world evolves. So it's while learning requires, as he's saying, the learning requires us to be humble about what we don't know, but unlearning requires us to be willing to admit that what we thought was right is not right. And since the world is changing, the things that we knew at some stage are wrong at another stage. So the key also to be successful is to know what things need to be unlearned and what things need to be learned. So that's why I would add this as the 4th element. And oh, sorry, it's jumping. So let's dive deep now into creativity. And creativity is an amazing resource. And the beauty is that all of us, we have it. Some of us may be just more connected to it than others. However, the best thing is that we can train it. And the book Ideas on Demand, a crash course on creativity that you can see on the right side, is actually a brilliant guide to train your brain for creativity. It's giving specific exercises, how to get rid of certain self-limiting beliefs that are holding back for the to unleash that creativity. And now, why the creativity is important? Because actually, if you think that highly creative people's brains have the ability to simultaneously engage 3 brain networks at the same time. So the default mode network, which is about supporting idea generation, the executive network, which supports idea evaluation, and they have the ability to have also the salience network that facilitates transition between default and executive systems. Now, this is for highly creative people. They have actual ability to connect the different brain parts that are about the envisioning and these big ideas, but also about the very rational evaluation, how to make things happen, and then how to switch constantly between them. When people are not so creative, then the switching doesn't happen. And that's, but as I said, this is trainable. So if you want to unleash your creativity and to bring the edge to whatever you're doing, then actually invest time into learn about how to become more creative. And I mean, these resources are available online. It doesn't physically don't have to be the book. There is the Kindle version. So there's many ways to learn, regardless of where we are geographically located. One of my favorite beliefs, and beliefs are important in coaching, especially, is everything is figure outable. And so this is actually a master belief for success. And it's something that Maria Ferleo, who is a creative coach, I would say, and she's a coach definitely, and she's lots of podcasts, and again, so much information on the internet that is available for everyone. And she inspires creative people to unleash their gifts. So, but what she talks is that the core is to actually instill the belief that regardless what's happening in life, everything is figure outable, meaning that we can find solutions, we can make it work if we put our mind on it. So it's really in our beliefs, and our beliefs are driving us. So while this meeting today here and this speech here, guest speech is not about coaching and about understanding the belief mindset, but I would love to just add here that if you are interested in understanding how you as a human work, then definitely this is a book to read. Now, so just to bring together the action step that you can do, and for me it's important, and I understand that the purpose of this class is to bring more practical insights. So for me it's important to share the practical insights that I've gathered through working with people, hearing from my own network, and reading different thought leaders. And I put it into the ideas how to enhance creativity and innovation through learning into these 4 modules that actually I mentioned earlier about the learning mindset. So the growth mindset, how you can nourish growth mindset. So definitely start with scheduling time for learning, and learn about your craft. So what are you good at? How you can improve what you're good at, your service, your skills, your anything that's considered your craft. What are the technologies that are out there? They're changing now so rapidly that it's important for you to be up to date with them. Who are your customers or your future customers that you want to have? What is the industry and the trends? How are they changing? Who are the role models that we already spoke earlier about? And schedule time to learn about yourself. So you are also changing. And that's what a fixed mindset believes, that we are the way we are. Then growth mindset is about you can change and become who you want to be. And while there are certain limiting beliefs or things that are holding you back now, it doesn't mean it will be in the future. And that's the beauty of you can reinvent yourself to be what you put your mind to. Now, the second aspect, the belonging, and how you can then enhance your creativity innovation through belonging. Start connecting with people. And as I mentioned, Keith Ferrazzi, the author I worked with, he talks a lot about the importance of the people that are in your network. Listen to them, help where you can, be generous, be open to learn new perspectives. So this is something that Adam Grant talks, that don't only surround yourself with people who agree with you, but surround yourself who disagree with you, because that will provoke ideas and enhance your creativity. And Keith Ferrazzi talks a lot about creating a community. So community of like-minded people. Brené Brown, that I mentioned earlier on one of the charts as well about belonging, she talks about how we belong into this bigger system of people, but at the same time to understand that and to have the courage to be alone when needed and to pursue your direction. So the third element, purpose and relevance. Now, to enhance your creativity and innovation, find true purpose and relevance. Find your why that is actually meaningful to you, but also the society. Remember the helping billion people that Peter Diamandis was saying? So the why has to motivate you. So you want to wake up in the morning and you're so driven to do things, to change things, to make things better. So there is this massively transformative purpose idea that is about how to create this purpose that is so transformative on a bigger scale. And there's an exercise that you can do, not at the moment, but later. I added the link here, but you can easily find it on the internet. So under the Peter Diamandis massively transformative purpose, you just fill in your details and you receive this guideline how to figure out what is your transformative purpose. And now the fourth element, rethinking. So this is something that Adam Grant is talking about and I shared earlier. But now, how is this can actually help you to unleash your creativity and innovation? So in a way that you will start seeing and connecting different elements. So, and to do that, it's important for you to question and be open to change your mind. So how to do that? Build a challenge network. And I think this is an amazing idea. So not the only support network that is perhaps in the belonging part, but a challenge network who will actually question your ideas, make you to rethink, make you to improve your service, your business, your whatever you're offering. Now listen to different perspectives. The importance of seeking feedback. So the more you get feedback and the more you edit your draft. So it's not about just getting one thing out and that's okay. That's okay for start. That's how business works. But the service, the product evolves when you actually get the feedback, you instill it, and then multiple times just like change the drafts. And to just take it all together is to enhance creativity and innovation, you need space. You need to book the time for yourself to have that space to think about this way. And if you don't have time, if you are, for example, overwhelmed, there's so much on your plate, you're busy, you don't have energy to do 100 things, well, creativity and innovation don't flourish in that environment. They may come out of need, but creativity usually under huge stress is getting blocked. So if you want to unleash your creativity, you need to learn how you look after your mental health, your physical health, you nourish your mind. So I like to make things actionable. And it's important to understand that that one thing is for you to hear. I'm sure you know all that one thing is the theory and the other thing is the actual practice. So I'd like to leave you with a takeaway exercise. And since it's the end of the year and the holiday season, what a perfect time is actually to reflect on your 3 most important learnings this year. So personal, academic and professional. What were really actually the aspects that you understood that you learned this year for yourself? Think about it, write it down. Now, the second point is what you need to rethink. And be curious about it. Are the things that you thought that were working in a certain way still working the same way? Is there something that needs to change, to be changed and adapted? So that's a good point, good timing for you to reflect on. The third point is, what will you do differently next year? And it's not just about dreaming. It's one thing is the dreaming part, that as we talked about creativity, that is one thing is the idea generation, and the other part is the evaluation. So one thing is this dreaming and big ideas, and then the other part is the analytical brain that is actually, okay, let's break it down into actions and start doing it. So when you're realizing what you have done and what you need to do, get clear how you're going to do it, and get very specific about it, and don't skip it. Like actions, clearly you know it, are the things that are going to bring the value, but it's a balance. It's a balance of reflection and the balance of action. And now the fourth point is, who will keep you accountable? And you're definitely not alone in this. So the best, find the people who will keep you accountable, whether it's your challenge network who will really maybe help you to rethink what were the things, or maybe it's your support network, doesn't matter, or maybe it's one friend or some close person, doesn't matter, reach out and agree when you'll meet. So I want to leave you with this exercise so you can really take it away, do it. It's you are the best tool in your toolbox. So start sharpening yourself, start understanding who you are in this beautiful world. So I think my time is up now for the lecture part. So I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be here today and share. And now it's time for your questions.
Wonderful lecture. Can you go to the second or third slide? I just want to see that again.
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm. So second or third slide, yeah?
No, I was noticing one point.
Yeah. Please. Any feedback? Oh, where did it disappear? So second or third slide.
Go slow. I'll see to it. Go slow. This one,
So,
fifth. Sorry.
Fifth.
Yeah. Inspire, challenge. Then sixth. Go slow. Go to sixth slide. Sixth one. Be generous. Next.
Next.
Yeah. Next to it. I forgot the number. I guess. Next.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Next more. Yeah.
Growth mindset. Okay, I want to know exactly what do you mean by this growth mindset.
So this is something that Carol Dweck, so the professor Carol Dweck talks about. She has written a book about it, and it's the understanding that your intelligence can be developed. So the opposite to growth mindset is fixed mindset, which means that people believe that things are fixed, but growth is that you're open to understanding that things can be changed, and yourself included.
Okay. Next slide.
Second. Yeah.
Learning is next to it. Yeah, learn and unlearn. Learn and unlearn. So I guess as an entrepreneur, how you see this thing, like you need to know what thing you need to unlearn, and you need to know what thing you need to learn. Just want to know your opinion. Like your husband is also an entrepreneur. What is your experience with this thing, learning and unlearning?
So actually, thank you for asking. It's a great question. So I think when Anuj showed my LinkedIn, I don't know if some of you may, or if some of you already checked it anyways, you could see that there was a PhD and discontinued, meaning that I didn't continue my PhD studies. I went to study it, but I didn't continue. And this is example for me how I understood that to rethink, in other ways, rethink my understanding that it was a wrong choice for me. I chose a wrong field where I wanted to do the PhD. So what I'm trying to say here is that it was in my personal life, it was something that I had this fixed idea I had to do it, and then I realized that I had to actually accept that it's not going to work for me. This is not the direction I wanted to go, and I made the decision. I discontinued it, and out of that, when I said so it's rethinking. So it's like admitting that I was wrong in my approach. So basically, so let's say it's learning, unlearning, but also thinking and rethinking. And so this is like, I had to rethink about making that choice. But another example, so that's about my own personal life. But let's say what we had to unlearn on a global scale, all of us, is that, for example, Pluto, we, at least when I was studying at school, we were told that Pluto is a planet. But now Pluto is not a planet anymore. It's considered a dwarf planet or something like smaller, because it's not anymore qualifying to be in the full size of with other planets. So basically, in this perspective, what learning and unlearning means is that at some stage we learned that this is Pluto. Now we had Pluto is a planet. Now we have to unlearn that Pluto is a dwarf planet. You cannot anymore say Pluto is a planet. So and lots of elements like these happen in real life. You understand, like, when were you like admitting that some direction that you took or some fact that you thought were right is not right at that time, and having the humility to admit, yeah, it's not right, and actually being excited being not right. This is actually even better, because it's like we're all in this game called life, but the more we are like I think Adam Grant says it's really beautiful, the same author, he's saying that confident humility. So being confident in world, so you're confident about your skills, who you are, but you have this humility to know that we don't know that we don't know everything, that other people are experts in other fields, and having this, I think this open mindset is something that is important.